Now, let me introduce today's speaker, Professor Juan Manuel Cercado, who is a full professor at the chair at the University of Salamanca. He was the Vice President of Research from 2013 to 2017 and the Director of the Science Park of the University of Salamanca. Chosen twice as the Dean of the Faculty of Science, he holds a PhD in Computer Science from the University of Salamanca and a PhD in AI from the University of West of Scotland. Professor Juan is also the Director of the IoT Digital Innovation Hub and the President of the AIR Institute. He is a visiting professor at the Osaka Institute of Technology and has been visiting professor at the University of Malaysia and a member of advisory group of the Online Terrorist Propaganda and the European Center of Terrorism Center. He has been president of the IEEE Systems, Man and Cybernetics Spanish chapter, as well as a faculty member at various universities such as University of Paisley, United Kingdom, Vigo, Spain, and the University of Plymouth Marine Laboratory, United Kingdom. Professor Juan works on the projects in the field of cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, blockchain, IoT, fog computing, edge computing, smart cities, smart grids, and sentimental analysis. With this, I will now invite Professor Juan to join us and take the stage from here. Let me see if he has joined the session. So we'll come back to you after a couple of minutes.
I am here. That's right.
Okay, Professor Juan, thank you very much. I couldn't see you in the list, but it's welcome you all and welcome Professor Juan. I have introduced you briefly. You may now start from here, please. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me again. I'm sorry to be a little bit late. I couldn't enter the Zoom meeting. So
welcome, Professor Juan. It's good
hello.
to have you here, Abdul, the Dean of the College, and would like to welcome you. And it's good to have you again with us in the Saudi Aramco Cybersecurity Chair. And I believe always you bring interesting topic with you. And I believe today's topic is very interesting, how we can connect the generative AI with the cybersecurity. And I believe we are looking forward for that. So it's good to see you again as well. And I would like also to welcome all the audience. I would like to thank them also for their interest to join this session. I believe we have a look to the audience. We're having audience from diverse institution, from government and private sector. I can see also from Saudi Aramco, from academia, and from also public sector. So hopefully the talk will be also beneficial to all the audience, and would like also to say Ramadan Mubarak to all our audience, and may Allah inshallah bless you in this holy month. So I believe the floor is yours, Professor Juan, and if you are ready, you may start.
Thank you very much for your introduction and for inviting me, and Mubarak. I hope you enjoyed the Ramadan this year too. So
thank you.
Let me share with you the screen, and we can start it from there. So let's step two. So basically, when this new transformer came to our lives, which had an evolution of the deep learning model we had been working with in the last few years, everything changed for us, especially when some large companies started to use them in large computers. So when we saw this type of products run by OpenAI with Microsoft, and started to bring to us product such as ChatGPT, we realized the potential of all of these models, and now they have evolved, and then we will see today how these new transformers with multimodal learning that use basically all types of knowledge generation approaches has changed what we do on artificial intelligence. Basically, we can throw to the bin most of the things we have been working with until now, and now we have an amazing tool to develop new ideas and products. So I'm going to introduce myself a little bit to see you what we do here. I am running a research group at the University of Salamanca, where we have around 130 different projects sponsored at a national, international level. And also we are very active on teaching, and we run the largest university MOOC platform in Spanish language, which has over 200,000 students worldwide, mainly focused on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, IoT, and this type of things. So we run one of the digital innovation hubs that Europe has launched in Internet of Things in collaboration with another 3,000 companies and labs. And also we are very active on cybersecurity with some national police bodies in Spain, and also working with Europol. Basically, we run the Cyberball Academy for the Spanish National Police, which will have our annual meeting in June this year, very soon. But also it has around 200 MOOCs on different aspects of cybersecurity. Also, we run the DGS3, which is the Digital Innovation Hub that Europe has devoted to cybersecurity. And I am the leader of this project, which is the biggest digital innovation hub in Spain, which has merged other digitals that have in Spain also, which are related to work on cybersecurity. So as a research group, we work on especially on artificial intelligence, but also in other areas such as, for example, cybersecurity, where we have a quite strong unit. And now we are running the national chair on cybersecurity. We have a blockchain unit also, especially for traceability and for the tokenization of the economy. And we apply our work on bioinformatics, neuroscience, fintech. And also we are very strong in the field of smart cities, smart textiles a little bit, but also smart grid and Industry 5.0. We have large units here. To support all of this infrastructure, we have created our own technological center, which we started around 5.5 years ago, and we are around 100 people, researchers, young people, basically working in all of this field in collaboration with our research group here at the university. We run a little lab at the Osaka Institute of Technology with Professor Omatu, but also you probably recognize Ishiguro, Professor Ishiguro Hiroshi, the father of Heminoid, one of the biggest humanoids. We work with them on the intelligent part of their elements, and we are preparing something very new for the Japanese expo, which will be held very soon. Also, we are very strong now in Doha, in Qatar, where we have a lab in collaboration with with the biggest Spanish electrical company and Karama in the QSTP, where we are focused mainly on energy products and there. So we are growing, and now we have a partnership with a company which is going to help us to move to hopefully to Saudi Arabia with our project soon. In Malaysia, at Kelantan, we run a bioinformatics lab. We work with Professor Saberi, and with Mohamed Saberi, we run a very new research center on bioinformatics, working with some major companies, on pharma companies. And also recently, during the expo of Dubai, we started a large project with Adia Lab, with the TII, basically focused on the tokenization of the economy and to generate a large language model, basically to model the evolution of the digital economy of the region and also of the tokenization processes. And I will explain you why I believe they are very much focused on that. So apart from that, we are very active working with Europol. We are a member of ECTEC, which is the group that is in charge of all the regulation of the teaching activities for the police forces in Europe. So we are creating a framework for identify who can be seen as an expert on cybersecurity within each of the European police forces in collaboration with another university in the UK. So we are partnering it. It's a project that in which we have been working for 3 years, and hopefully in the next 2 years we will have a framework where will allow the police forces to be accredited. Apart from that, we work with other entities worldwide, and this is our new building, one of the new buildings we have for our new campus, which we hopefully in 2 more years will be finalized, where we will have outside Salamanca by the river very good facilities. So we will be very happy to invite you there. We used to see artificial neural networks as you see there on your left, with a few connections, a small amount of information, and to work with small processes. But since we started working with artificial neural networks last century, now we have seen it change, and now we envisage them something like you can see here to the right, like a huge amount, millions of connections, of millions of data sets, just modeling large problems. And we have gone from these networks to the expert system, to genetic algorithms, to fuzzy logic, or to distributed artificial intelligence with all the concepts related, for example, to multi-agent systems, or even further with everything related to social machines, where humans and computers are working together. Since in around 2006, we started to work with convolutional networks, where by processes of convoluting and pooling, we can create a very good classifier of images, for example, or text or data sets. We have been how these processes can evolve by filtering the images and from different perspectives, with different filters. So we have just in one algorithm the ability to model one single problem from a different perspective. That has basically changed everything, and we have been able to attack this type of images with filters that allow us to identify the shapes better, the texture, some concrete elements over there, or even if there are some figures we were to identify. With the right filters, we are able to really provide amazing classification project. And one of the best things we have is that with the other tools that we have around, such as GitHub, we have been able to share all our product, to share everything we do, and to, in a way, to democratize the artificial intelligence. So everybody everybody with an idea, everybody with data, everybody with images is able now to create their own classification algorithm, but just by using products that are really on the market, that are there, that are for us, and that basically we can download because it's the work of many people that want to share. So this type of products has, in a way, allow us to work with a new type of collaborative methodology that has made the artificial intelligence grow a lot in the last few years until now, where we have seen how when we put together millions or billions of data sets and we create great clusters with thousands of GPUs, we can model almost everything up to the point in which we can generate new knowledge. That may be scary, and in fact is, I believe, for all of us amazing, but in the right hands can help us a lot, not just for in the cybersecurity field, but also in the medical field or in telecommunications, in the area of transport, logistics, and basically and business and economy everywhere. So with the tools we have already, we can implement this type of multimodal self-supervised learning. And coming to talk to multimodal, why it's important to us? Because most of the problem, actually all the problems we deal with nowadays have data of all kinds, and in many cases is not well structured data. Until now, we used to talk a lot about big data, but have you ever seen a real big data product where you put data in any way and where you extract information from that data in a sensible manner? Very difficult. To be honest, I have never seen any good thing working till now. But with this product we have now, we can include on the system images, we can include data, we can even include signals like sound, which also is data, but a different type of data, and in a not a structured way. So we don't need just to get the data from a database. We can use simple data that can be on a PDF or even handwritten data if we deal with the right ways to transform that data into something understood that can be understood by our system. So that's open to us a lot of opportunities, and I'm bringing to you some of the new transformers and multimodal learning models that can help us to give this step forward and to create this knowledge. We are not just reproducing knowledge, is to generate knowledge in the right direction, in the right way, with all the information we have. So this is something new, and this is something that is changing very fast, because these algorithms and the product we obtain with them are changing every day. But when we want, for example, to work with uncertainty, for example, we can use this type of model, energy-based model for multimodal. You want to train a system for self-driving cars. For example, the product that Waymo is bringing to the market, that you have been in San Francisco, you have seen these taxis, autonomous taxis, driving alone over there. But if you want to bring one of these taxis to Spain, our roads are a little bit different, our signals are a little bit different. If you want to create, for example, a model that is being able to is able to deal with this uncertainty and come here to Spain to bring one of these taxes and adapt to the new situation here. This type of models, for example, can be used for retraining and for fine-tuning of these models in a very speedy way without taking so long. So I can put you here already around 50 of these new algorithms that just arrived to the market. And obviously I'm going to, I don't know if you're recording the talk, but I'm going to send you these slices. But I brought those algorithms from the last NISP conference, which is probably the one in which most of these or the newest algorithms are presented. So this, for example, the variational prototype inference model is helping us to generate a latency space that allow us to create basically a amazing classifier of product that can be even in movement, not just images, but the video classifiers if you do it in the right way, because the latency space can aggregate this type of evolutionary processes here. So I'm going to come to talk about the knowledge representation way about this latency space on this network in a minute. So if you are not very familiar with this type of model, you understand the concept behind the knowledge we generate with this type of products. So I want to bring your attention to this point, which is something that should allow us to think about how our world is changing and how it will change, especially in countries like Saudi Arabia, which is now even growing much faster and investing a lot in a lot of, I believe from outside, but basically you know it much better than me, investing in changing even faster the countries, a process from that would take time, that is started probably decades ago, but which is changing a lot. And you see, in 1760 we had the first industrial revolution, maybe because many things happened, the engineering aspects of the behind the life of many engineers push them to create something new, and with the steam everything changed, but not just with that. I took that picture a few days ago, months ago, sorry, in Bruges in Belgium, of Simon Stevin, which was an engineer who started to work with negative numbers in functions, and many people, not just the ones who identify what the steam could give us, started to change the world. And 1 century ago, 1 century after that, we had the second industrial revolution. Another century, we had the third industrial revolution. I like to say that in 1971, two things happened. The first microprocessor was launched, which, as you can see, a microprocessor has changed our life. But second important thing for me was that I was born that year. So apart from that, you see, just a few years back, a few years ago, after that, in just around 45 years ago, we had the fourth industrial revolution, which is around 2016, where in Germany especially they started to think about bringing internet to the large industries. And you see, by listening what is going on, we believe, and now we are in the fifth industrial revolution, just only 1 decade after that, not even that, because we are working with cyber physical system, with cognitive models using generative AI, which will change many things very, very soon. And you can see that project, you will recognize this project. I took it from yesterday from the internet. Is probably the most amazing project that we will see going on, and it will be carried out in your country with NEOM and the line, which will allow us to see how a different type of cities are built. And I believe this project cannot be a reality without the models provided by generative AI, because you cannot build something like that without modeling it before. And now we can really do it with generative AI. Before it was impossible, but now it is a real possibility. And the best thing of that is basically that we have many products that in a record time arrive to us. As you see, ChatGPT arrived to a figure of 2 million users in just 2 months, which is for example, for Facebook, it took up to 6 years to have 2 million people. So that tells us how fast is this moving, because now using AI is simple. And there is one point: building good AI nowadays is very expensive. You need strong computers, very expensive computers, and you need, apart from that, to have money to buy the data to train everything. I am a member of the NVIDIA committee for generative AI, and Jai Puri, the vice president in Santa Clara, California, last August, told me that there are around 50 companies worldwide and states building large language model. So I believe most of them, these people are going to lead in this world, because only you have the ability and the resources to spend $500-1,000 million in buying a big cluster. You can really do nowadays good things. We are doing interesting things, which I can show you, with small machines of $1-2 million machines, which are okay for retraining, for fine-tuning models, and also sometimes using Nemo, which is a tool I recommend you to use from NVIDIA, because I am a member of this committee. The NVIDIA people allow us, sometimes they have free some clusters, to create our own large language models with the data we are collecting every day with our scrappers, to create our own system, which actually are very good. And it's I think something that is giving us the leadership we have in Spain in this area. So basically, we have Gemini nowadays. Basically, we have other products such as, for example, XLNet or Roberta, or basically Perplexity, which is an extension, as you know, of Llama 2, which are very good products we can work with, and just as a user. Last weekend, I was integrating my Explorer, my Excel system with ChatGPT-4, and it's amazing what we can do and how that will, in a way, make our life easier very, very soon. So why is some people afraid of AI? Because we are in many cases biased by the movies, by the cinema, and because many people see a threat, because the bad guy in many movies is the AI. But we all know that a gun can be used by a policeman to protect us, or by a criminal to kill some people. So if the AI is in the right hands and we use common sense, we should not be afraid. But also, it's a tool from which we have to be protected, because in the wrong hands, can be very dangerous too, okay? So that's important, and it's an issue we have here. We are talking in Europe, especially a lot about the ethics of AI and the regulation and so on, which I don't know if it's good or bad. It's important to have that clear and to work with kind of regulation, but what I believe is like while the Americans are making a lot of money, the Chinese, we don't know what they are doing, but I'm sure they are making money. And we are in Europe still thinking about how can we use it without getting very much involved on it, which is an error for us as a European Union. But anyway, there are some principles we have to deal with, and everything related to the trustworthy AI we have to deal with. It's important that you understand that, for example, you should know, and you know very easily, that some of the AI should be supervised, some other really doesn't need to be supervised. For example, if we bring our car out of the car parking, we can have an automated system to read the plate and to open the gate for us if we have already paid. This is AI, and this can be left by itself. But if we go to a doctor and we want to perform an analysis on our data, or so a surgery with a Da Vinci robot or something like that, we really want a human supervision. Also, I will never fly on a plane without a pilot, because I will not feel secure. Also, we know there are drones that can fly with no pilot, but on the plane. But I prefer to have someone monitor this type of AI product. So let's talk about the latency space a little bit to see how these models work. For example, the autoencoders. Okay, with the autoencoders, what do we do when we train ChatGPT, for example, or Xinhua, developed by the Science Academy of China in collaboration with Tsinghua University and Alibaba. So what they do is that they put all the information, all the books they have, all the PDF with all the data, everything from Wikipedia, every open text, all the information they have already bought, and we can imagine that page by page to the system. So we in all of this information we use to feed the system, we incorporate a lot of data and information related to data. For example, information about a ball pen. And when I say a ball pen, this is a blue ink, and a ball pen has an ink for the ball pen, and also the ball pen has a tab. For example, it's a blue tab, and I have another ball pen here, which is different ball pen, type of ball pen, which has different inks of different colors, and this is a good ball pen also. So I include millions of data. We're talking about many things, and in many of these paragraphs I talk about the ball pen and everything, and also say a ball pen is for handwriting, and also can be substituted by a keyboard, can be substituted by a keyboard where we can use it. So all of this information is included there, and everything that has some relationship, for example, say the ball pen, okay, and all the words that are related to each other, to the same concept, I have just for them use the same colors. Basically, each of these points represent a concept, and each of these concepts basically is represented by the slope of the vector and the cut value of the x axis. So with that information, basically, what we have is a representation of everything that is similar. It's basically at the similar position. So this is a ball pen, which will be represented by this vector. This ball pen, which is something very similar, will be represented by this vector very close, and this other ball pen will be represented by this vector. And if I have a house is not here because it doesn't have anything to see with this ball pen, so the house can have another type of representation. So everything that is the same will have the same, will be very close in this latency space. And also this latency space represents which word should be in the before or after a given word, depending on the previous words we will use. Okay, so that's why we can, for example, generate text or images, because we feed the product with smiling faces of people and then neutral, and we provide a neutral face of a woman in this case. The system will be able to simulate a smiling face, because when we smile, our eyes change a little bit, our mouth change a little bit, and we can identify that from the images we have. So we have now a great opportunity here to represent many of our products, and this is my colleague Steven Chu, which is with me in the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority Lab Committee for developing investment project and digitalizing the economy. And Steven Chu is a great man. I don't know if you know him, but he was Secretary of State with Obama, and also is a Nobel Prize on Physics. And he shared with me these slides that created for Goldman and Sachs, where we say which is going to be the impact of basically AI in the US and in the people employment. And you can see that it will affect to all type of businesses, and behind all these type of businesses we have, for example, element as cybersecurity. So for that we have created our own SOC. You are familiar with SOC technology, what we call SOC-I, SOC of Cyber Operational Center, and AI of Artificial Intelligence, in which we are developing our own CM, which has a generative AI model, a transformer with multimodal learning, just to analyze the data and identify anomalies that may represent threats to our organization. And it's a product that we have developed to collaborate with other commercial products, especially for the IoT sector, which now we are testing in some companies here, and also in our university and in our lab. It's a new product, bringing to us new opportunities. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I am getting a little bit late. So generative AI may be a threat to the cybersecurity system. Of course, I believe so. And we need to get ready for that, because we can, for the creation of, for example, detective contact, for advanced phishing, for identity limitation, for attack automation, for evasion of detection of systems, for the manipulation of AI-based system, for disinformation and propaganda, for privacy threats, information overload, and use also, which is the biggest threat, I believe, in economic cyber crimes. And also I'm going to point you something which I believe is going to be the next revolution of something that may happen if we are not aware. But also I am starting to put together a new unit on quantum computers, because, to be honest, I never thought, if you talked to me 1 year ago, that the AI could evolve in that sense. Now I have seen it. I hired some quantum experts, and because of two things. Because I thought, okay, if you put together quantum quantum technology with generative AI, I believe everything will change a lot, especially from the cybersecurity point of view, and also because in Spain, all the military bodies in Europe are involved in quantum computing because they really believe it's going to be the next world threat. And quantum technology in collaboration with generative AI for both defense and attack will give us great opportunity. And when you combine both for enhancing the capability of breaking encryption, is going to be amazing. We are working with D-Wave, which is a Canadian company which is leading the annealers technology for quantum machines, and also with we just signed an agreement with Fujitsu to start working with them, and I believe and now as I see it, quantum has some limitation because you cannot put a lot of data there, but the amazing thing is that with the new transformer, you can compact the information, send it to the quantum annealers. The quantum annealer will give you a very fast result, and then you can expand that information again with the transformer. So that mix in which we are already working with the emulation network at which we are involved here at the university, we believe we will be able to create products that are good, but also that has a fast response time, because when you deal with security issues, you need to be fast to process all of that information. For example, for accelerated evolution of malware and attack strategy, this is something in which many companies and governments are working with. But also, sorry, I don't know what I have done here. Let me see. Okay, if we put together this technology, transport AI with blockchain, with digital twin, big data, with the content of data space, of data lake, with the edge computing, with the regulation, the platform we have, the federated learning, and the generative AI, we will be able to create a new concept, new technology that will change our life completely. And from that point of view, if we want to leverage generative AI to mitigate cybersecurity, also we have a lot of opportunity. We can develop attack simulation system for training and awareness, for security policy generation, for anomaly detection, which is in one of the largest projects in which we are dealing with this SOC AI, enhancing authentication, also for automated incident response, for predictive threat analysis, for dynamic security content creation, also very important, because this is the way in which the attacks are coming, I believe, in the next generation of virus and attack product, for intelligent countermeasure development, and for software security enhancement. Also, we have great opportunities of research with this area. And with this, I will say just before my last slides, that generative AI can be utilized to construct comprehensive digital twins, replicating entire economical systems, which is something we are trying to do with Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, for transportation network and supply chain, thereby enabling precise simulation and optimization of resources at local, national, at also at global level. This capability can lead to significant wealth generation. Of course, we have a lot of opportunity by optimizing efficiency and productivity, but, and have a look at this because this is important, if misuse or monopolize, it could also destabilize economies, manipulate markets, and alter social order by concentrating power and control. thing is something we need to be aware, because with this large language model, you can model the economy of a small country like Spain to know exactly in which companies to act, and you can now you can act in 2 or 3 companies and really bankrupt the economy of a country like Spain in the situation we are just now. So I believe when this happened, the rich people get richer and the poor get poorer. So I believe we need to be very careful and be ready for that, because with this type of tools, large companies, large states can control and take control of other economies easily. And this is something that I think many people is looking for. For example, with the Gudao, the Chinese people can really not just monitor the logistics worldwide, but also to know where invest when it comes to raw materials, to which ships are going to be needed in the next 5 years, or for example, how the economy of a given country and the population of a given country is changing. So this is important to take in mind. And this is the greatest danger of this technology, and something we must be prepared for. At the pace this technology is advancing, in just a few years or over even months, we will see the emergence of large language model capable of the best, but also of the worst. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the talk.
Thank you, Professor. It's really interesting talk. I think 1 hour will be not enough to cover all these aspects. Hopefully, we will invite you again for another section. Well, you have answered all the questions that I have received from the audience. Maybe a couple of questions that might be still, if you want to explain in your own words. So the first question says, what kind of content generative AI can produce beyond text and images? Like what kind of things AI can generate, and especially in the world where we have industry standard 5.
Okay, for example, you can create a digital twin to predict, to identify how the tokenization models are changing in a given economy. You can generate, for example, you can analyze medical histories, and you can analyze medical guides, and use that to create a model to support the doctor on the taking decision processes. Or, for example, I was with a company called Técnicas Reunidas that is developing a large gas plant in your country, near the Imam, not far away from the Imam. And the engineers, I fly with several of them from Doha to Madrid a few months ago on December, just before the holidays of December, and they told me that to planify the structure that they build with generative AI, they have reduced the design of their engineering tools up to 90% of the time. So you can imagine it just taking to them 10% of their time to design the structure they want to do, just by adapting models provided by ChatGPT version 4. So we can really, for example, create tools to assist us as a professor for our teachers, and we can basically do, I believe, almost anything we can imagine. We can, for example, create new programs with Copilot GitHub. Now I have improved the productivity of my research group by around 30%, and now we are moving into Copilot X, which is much better, and I believe we will improve around another 10 to 15% our programming efficiency in the next few years. So just think in one problem you have, and I believe I can tell you how generative AI can help you to be more efficient.
Thanks, Professor. There is another question just came from the audience. It's in the chat window. It says how AI can help in detecting the threats at SOC.
How can AI?
How AI can help in detecting the threats at SOC? I think it's about SOC you discussed. And the question is also in the chat window. If you wanna
Okay,
read.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yes, because okay, because you see, normally in an organization you receive normally the same type of data, which may change along the day and also along the week, but you normally has same type of data entering and coming. Sporadically, I may have some, every day I have some emails from China, for example, or from South Africa, or from the States, or from Colombia, or from many places. But normally, my traffic can be modeled and is quite similar every day. Some days like today, I'm giving a talk to you, but it's okay because my computer is informed already because it's on my agenda that I will be talking to you. So I have if we combine the information we have about our activity, okay, which is important, with the data that is coming from our network, we can, you see, we can create a system that matches our activity with the data. Okay, the same will happen. The same will happen when on an organization. On an organization, everybody has their roles, everybody has their agendas, and from the agenda, I will probably know more or less which will be the traffic of a computer machine or a robot or whatever. If we match that information, now with the multimodal learning, we can match that information about our activity with the traffic, we can have a new type of product that we have never seen before working on that. So the generative AI allow us on an unstructured way to create a system that can model almost any type of organization, because until now we used to identify threats just on the data flow, not on our activity, and modeling that for every of us, which basically has kind of different life, different activity, different type of roles, and so on, to create a system that will, with the previous technology, which allowed to model all of that information, was very difficult because it has to be done very much manually and adapted for everyone. Now there is no need for that. We can create a generic model just by, okay, let's understand your agenda, let's anonymize your agenda, and match that the activity you have already, and with all the incoming and outgoing information from the computers, and you can have now the perfect system to identify anomalies.
Thank you, Professor. I think the last question, what can be a potential cybersecurity strategy to handle threats due to generative AI? Like what kind of potential strategies that can help us handling any kind of threat due to generative AI?
Okay, difficult to say, because attacks may come from all type of sources nowadays, and generative AI can open you many different windows and many different opportunities. So basically, I would say that in my case, we are working basically on the use on fine-tuning models, so we can have a product that understand. We train basically our large language model on the information coming into a system for 1 week. We train it and we use it, and we keep in parallel another system training again and replacing the previous one. So in that way, we can have an adapting system that understand how people wants to use the computer, but also the data coming into the computer. So this is okay. Until now, we have improved the previous system we have had developed with convolutional networks before, with last mean square products and this type of things. Significantly, depending on the environment, much better. Everything is much simpler at IoT at industrial level. That for example, an office environment where the different type of activities change, but it's very important, I would say, try to work with generative AI in collaboration with quantum technology. There are now many opportunities to access to quantum emulation system. Fujitsu, for example, open their machines to everyone, and with this emulation system, quantum emulation system, in collaboration with generative AI, I believe that will be the next generation of system that at the post-quantum era will protect us much better.
Thank you, Professor Juan. My colleagues are now, they are leaving, they have classes. So Dr. Abdullah, you want to thank the audience and the speaker officially from the chair? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Professor Nasser. Thanks, Professor Juan, for a very interesting topic, highlighting the generative AI threats and risks. And I believe this will open research questions and interest for the audience and also for our students to do more research, how we can utilize generative AI in the positive side and trying to minimize the risks and the negative. So on behalf of the Saudi Aramco Cybersecurity Chair, I would like to thank you for your time and for sharing your knowledge. And I believe also this will also open collaborations between the chair and between the audience with your team, and how we can, inshallah, extend this research more. And I would like to thank also the audience for their time, for their interest, and for their engagement in making this talk very interactive and benefits all. So thank you. Looking forward for the next talks and for joining everyone with us in the next activities. So thank you all, and thanks Professor Juan again, and thanks Professor Nasser for moderating this session. Thank you all.
Thank you for inviting me to be here with you. Thank you. I'm waiting to talk. Bye-bye.